What if ALOLAN Persian was in Gen 1 OU? Now, I was originally going to make a joke saying, what if Parting Shot was in Gen 1 OU? Because since that used to be a signature move for ALOLAN Persian, I was going to give it that. But holy crap, you guys. ALOLAN Persian is so overpowered that I couldn't even give it Parting Shot. Not only could I not give it Parting Shot, because it would just be too good, there is a chance that ALOLAN Persian is so overpowered, it wouldn't even use it anyways. You guys have no idea what you're gonna get with this video, because no one uses ALOLAN Persian, and even if you do use it, like, you definitely don't use it like how it's used here. Oh my gosh. So I guess it's important to look at regular Persian first, even though they're basically the same. Outside of the obvious one with the typings, dark versus normal, the only other relevant thing is just that the attack and special attack were swapped. So for the most part, it doesn't matter too much, because Persian, Alola still has, slash, still a guaranteed crit, so it might as well just be, like a base, like 120 attack. Not to mention, like, its higher special attack, or higher special, is just more useful, both for its coverage, as well as for its, just main attacking move. Obviously, that speed is amazing. It ties with Starmie, so outside of Jolteon, it's just pretty much the fastest thing in the tier. And, unlike regular Persian, it's a dark type, which, it has its strengths and weaknesses. Or, not so much weaknesses. You would, prefer to have normal stab if you could, but trading a normal stab for a psychic immunity is incredibly good, and that cannot be understated. It also means that a certain move that ALOLAN Persian has can no longer be countered for. Yeah. It has a move. It's a pretty silly move, which we'll go over in a little bit. But the rest of the stats don't matter too much. 60 defense is kind of mid, and even if we go with just 75 special, a little bit better than Tauros. But just on these base stats, it's not really that good. But yeah, that does not matter, because ALOLAN Persian makes up for that with oh boy, you'll see. So as we keep scrolling here, Parting Shot, which I decided not to give again, but if it did have it, this move alone would definitely make it OU. There's no doubt about it. But we didn't give it that, so just moving on. Rest probably doesn't work because you're not bulky enough to where you get a whole bunch of free turns, but you don't need it. Thunderbolt, just like regular Persian, but like I said, because you have slightly higher special attack, it just means it's just a little bit better. And, yeah, you just see here, these are just, yeah, those are all the moves. Yeah, obviously, a lot of moves that are good in Gen 1 don't get listed here, so you only have one. But it gets so much crazier. Look at this. Look at this. 115 speed, and it has amnesia, and it learns freaking hypnosis. Look at these two moves right here. Two of the most overpowered psychic moves it can learn. On a base 115 Pokemon with the freaking dark typing. So you can even use Psychic to lower its special. Not to mention, since it is, a Fastmon, it has Slash. So, oh, you have Chansey? Okay, that's fine. We can take care of Chansey. And then, that's over. That does a lot of damage. But even if you don't want to use Slash, let's say you have, Thunderbolt and Slash. Okay, so, that seems really good, but it might have a counter and Rhydon. No! It learns Water Pulse. It learns Water Pulse too. So if it doesn't have Amnesia, it just Queen Wee 2 hit KOs Rhydon, assuming it doesn't get a crit. Not to mention, if you do manage to get full special, Thunderbolt just as much as Amnesia anyways. So, holy crap. I thought this video was mostly just gonna be talking about, just Parting Shot. Like, okay, that's a very interesting move. You get to pivot out, you get to lower the attack and special of the opponent, so, like, you get to control the game a lot. I thought I was gonna be like, okay, that's interesting. I was not prepared for this! Keep in mind, even just, like, Trade Backs Persian is overpowered and really good because it learns Hypnosis. But this learns Amnesia too, and then you remember that it's slightly better special than regular Persian, becomes even more relevant. So, like, what the heck am I going over today? Like, why does it have this? Why does it need it? It doesn't, but it's crazy. And the fact that even this right here, not using Slash at all, might be the most optimal moveset, it's just ridiculous. I didn't even bother going over Hyper Beam, because why would you need it when you have these moves? It has everything it could ever need, and at the very least with this moveset, it basically has no counters. It only has Chansey that can really check it. And, okay, that's not entirely true. Paralysis is admittedly a huge weakness of ALOLAN Persian. So faster mons, or mons like Starmie that speed high, could very well, you know, like just completely kill its speed. And if that's the case, then it becomes a lot easier to revenge kill. Not to mention, it's still Hypnosis, so it's gonna miss a lot, which you just can't do anything about that. Which means that, I mean, it's still really dangerous, but it doesn't mean that more Pokemon will get the chance to paralyze you, or Pokemon like Gengar will have their own chance of hitting Hypnosis, or Tauros Body Slam, etc. A lot of things can go wrong, and considering Persian is so, like, frail, if it does miss a Hypnosis, that could very well be game over. But with it being so fast in the first place, it isn't a huge problem. And with how overpowered Sweep is in Gen 1, like, no matter what, you always get at least one turn to get a free Amnesia up. And since you're so fast, you're basically getting 2. So basically it's just, okay, I might lose a Pokemon if I miss this Hypnosis. But if I hit this Hypnosis, I just win the game. And there's nothing you can do about it. And to keep in mind, in practice, you're not just gonna, like, have this thing be, like, a shitty lead. You're gonna, like, probably just play the game with your other Pokemon first. Especially try to make sure, like, their Chansey gets, you know, weakened. If, like, their Starmie can get, like, paralyzed, even better. So this thing just comes out late game. And the moment this thing comes out, you just have to, like, if you're the opponent, you just have a 40% chance to try to do something. Otherwise, that Hypnosis is going to hit, and you just lose the game. There's, like, no other way about it. And I think because of this, it's not... I would actually say that ALOLAN Persian probably does prefer the, Dark typing. Not that, like, Psychic was going to be a big problem anyways, but now that, not only do you not have to worry about, you know, Psychic, lowering your special, but way more importantly, you don't have to worry about Alakazam or Starmie or anything else, you know, getting a crit on you, which could also just do a lot of damage to Persian, but doesn't have to worry about that, because it's just completely immune. So yes, fellas, I know a lot of regional variants have been requested, by far the biggest one being ALOLAN Sandslash, which I will get to eventually, but I would not have expected ALOLAN Persian to be the most overpowered of the regional variants. But I don't know, like, Ice Steel type, that's a really good defensive type in Gen 1. It's gonna take a lot for something to outclass ALOLAN Persian. Let's just get onto the replays. And a lot of these are gonna be the same, like, just warning you right now. You start with the boy Tauros, he gets put to sleep, and then Persian can just set up Amnesia. It can get a lot of those, like, you know, at least 2, probably 3. And then after that, like, what do you do after here? Well, even if you have Chansey at this point, it just does a crap load of damage. Like, do you guys think ALOLAN Persian would get banned to Ubers? Because I'm not sure if you overpowered for Ubers, but I do feel like it would just create such an unfun and scummy metagame where it would need to go in order just to help the format. And here's Snorlax, Amnesia Wax. Like, it can build special, but then, like, what does it do afterwards? Because Persian's faster, it can also, you know, set its own special. Or it can go for, or just whatever it wants, really. Snorlax is pretty tanky, though. Also, the other versions of Snorlax, such as, like, Physical Attack and Reflect Wax, they just get, like, destroyed. And even with, you know, like, a full special for both of them, Persian is still Persian. It crits a lot. So there's not really nothing else I can really say here. It's just, you're just watching a slaughter. And there's, like, we're just have to accept that this weird looking cat with a dumb face is probably the most dangerous Pokemon in Gen 1 OU. Now, luckily, Chansey can put up a much better fight. Probably, I'm debating on if Chansey can put up the best fight. There's, like, one other Pokemon that might be able to, but it's probably Chansey, question mark. And even then, like, it's more of a check. If it gets paralysis off, it's a Persian, it just finds that really annoying, especially if it gets unlucky with paralysis hacks. But Chansey does need exactly Seismic Toss. Volt Beam Chansey just won't cut it, because Persian will just, you know, it just gets too tanky too quickly. But it's possible. But it's also possible for Persian too, because Chansey can just get really unlucky with those sleep, and then just never wake up. And also, as you saw there, Slash did 30%, and I think Thunderbolt did 33%. So honestly, there's a good chance you don't even bother with Slash in the first place, and you just go for Thunderbolt and Water Pulse, just so that you have super effective coverage against Rhydon. And if you do that, there's truly nothing in the game that can really stop you. You'd have to have Chansey there that can check you. And that was a Persian that got really unlucky, and for that, Chansey to get lucky with sleep, you know, hacks. And here we have Cloyster. At the very least, one super effective, like, Thunderbolt with a Thunderbolt, it can survive. But I'm not sure if it crit kills. Even then, like, Cloyster using Explosion there is probably a really good trade. Although, if it has to explode in the first place, I'm definitely going to say that it would be a great matchup for Persian. Because the only thing, like, Cloyster can do is just, you know, kill itself, basically. Now, this one surprised me, because even though Executor has no way of hurting Persian with, you know, Psychic, it has a more consistent sweep move, and since Persian's so weak physically, Executor's Double Edge does a lot of damage, a 4-hit KO, which isn't that bad, honestly, especially when you consider that Persian's, like, only moves are Thunderbolt, Water Pulse, and Slash. So even with, like, max special, Executor can still resist all of the special attacks. And with Hypnosis being, you know, way less accurate, Executor can actually hold its own. I'm impressed. And it's him and Chansey are kind of needed, along with another Pokemon, which we'll go over. And that Pokemon is not Gengar. Both have a very unreliable sweep move, but Persian's faster, so I don't even think the Gengar risk it. I really don't. But then again, like, what do you even do once Persian comes out? Because it sets up a special, they can just kill anything. Which, now that I think about it, maybe Persian isn't that bad as just a lead. Because if it starts setting up specials, it can just do a lot of damage, and it can just soften up your team or put something to sleep. Oh, I just remember right now, this actually would make Persian the fastest sleep setter in Gen 1. And it's immune to Psychic. Yay! Isn't this fun, you guys? I know you're having so much fun. And this is the other Pokemon that might have a better chance than Chansey, because Jolteon is faster, and Double Kick is actually relevant, because, again, Persian is weak to Double Kick, has low defense. Now, granted, would Thunderbolt be doing more? Maybe. Definitely with a crit. But then again, Double Kick would definitely be doing more with a crit. And Persian could set up its specials here, but Jolteon, you know, it might just be better off attacking. Or, at the very least here, with such low HP, it definitely has to. So Jolteon being able to outspeed and always just paralyze it is actually really huge. I think Jotun would make a huge resurgence. It would be a lot more popular in the meta if it had to deal with, ALOLAN Persian. And also, by the way, this matchup right here is perfect example on why dogs are always superior to cats. I don't want to hear you guys complaining in the comments. Like, it's always better to be a dog person. And if you're not a dog person, you're just wrong. I'm sorry to tell you that. Not really, actually. Also, yeah, Water Pulse, Murders. But then again, Earthquake also does a lot. So if your Rhydon gets lucky and just uses Earthquake and gets a crit, maybe it could be cool. Who knows? You don't risk it, but it can happen. Which means it'll happen to everybody but me. And this one's also it's just a slaughter. It's faster. Even if it wasn't faster, considering it also can set its own amnesias, it probably doesn't care too much. At the very least about being paralyzed for the Swellow matchup exactly. Also, thank God it doesn't also learn Thunder Wave. That would just be terrifying. We only got 2 more left. This is probably the main one to go over. Starmie. Because, Persian and Starmie have the same speed stat in the original game. Or in Gen 1. But here, outside of paralyzing, Starmie just has no way of hurting Persian. And Persian has a super effective Thunderbolt. So maybe you don't even bother going for, Thunder Wave, and you just pray you get a Freeze-Off Wizard. Not great odds, but what do you even do? Nothing really. And last but not least, we got Zapdos. This one surprised me, and maybe Zapdos is just a bad matchup. Or Persian's a bad matchup for Zapdos, but here Zapdos kind of just was able to hold its own. It's Thunderbolt, or maybe the crit really set it back there and it hurt Persian, which I guess is typically one thing that does sort of balance Persian. The fact that with its high speed, a lot of times you will be critting, and when you're critting, you won't be doing anywhere near as much as you would with full special. So maybe this is just an unlucky Zapdos, but I feel like with how inconsistent Hypnosis is, and with Zapdos being able to hit hard on both the physical and special side, and most importantly, being neutral towards Thunderbolt with high special, I feel like it might be able to hold its own. Not exactly sure. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But here is the tier list. There was literally not a... Wait, no, this probably goes in good, or probably great matchups, if we're being honest. Maybe one of these would go in, could go either way. But with Persian being faster, I just don't think these two want to risk fighting Persian at all. Especially Tauros. And if that's the case, if your Tauros has to fear the Alolan Persian, that's definitely a good matchup at worst. Even if the Tauros can damage it. But yeah, this is a problem. This is a big problem. The Fat Cat is just apparently one of the best things that are just in this game. And I would be very surprised if I could ever find a regional variant that'd be even more overpowered. Definitely not Paldean Tauros, that's for sure. And Alolan Sandslash doesn't do much better. Or not that Alolan Sandslash wouldn't be good, but not game breaking like this is. But what do you think? Am I overhyping Alolan Persian? Would it be banned to Ubers? And if you don't think it'd be banned to Ubers, would it be banned to Ubers if it had all of this and Parting Shot? And, what else can I say? I can't think of anything else. Just, like I said in the other videos, don't forget to vote for the Generation Jumble. I decided that we will be starting that on Saturday, after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So if you want a chance to, test out some of the Pokemon in my videos in Gen 1, participate in a tournament or two, that's where it'll be held. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll love to see you there. We can chat. You can battle me directly, and who knows? Just participate in the Generation Jumble and join the Discord. Thank you all for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.